Chapter 18 of Stories from God's Holy Book by Josephine Looney. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Therese. The Last Supper. One day in early spring, Bobby announced, "Our mothers are going to take us to church tomorrow because it's Holy Thursday. Why is it called that, Joe?" "On the very first Holy Thursday," Joe replied, "Jesus gave us the Blessed Sacrament. So you see, we have a good reason for calling that day holy." "Won't you tell us about it?" asked Patricia. "It happened at the Last Supper. That was the last meal Jesus ate with the apostles. The next day he was going to die. Before he died, he had one more important thing to do. He knew that all of us, to the end of the world, would need special help to be good. He found a wonderful way to help us. Jesus himself was going back to heaven. Yet he would stay with us in the Blessed Sacrament. Soon you will receive the Blessed Sacrament in your first Holy Communion. At the Last Supper, Jesus gave the apostles the very first Holy Communion there ever was in the world. It was the time of the year when the Jews celebrated the Feast of the Passover. I have already told you about this. Part of the celebration was eating supper together. Jesus and his apostles ate the Passover supper in an upper room. At last the supper was over. The great moment had come. The apostles knew Jesus was going to do something wonderful. They held their breath as they watched him. He took a piece of bread. He lifted his eyes to heaven and gave thanks to his Father. Then he blessed the bread, broke it, and gave it to his apostles. "Eat this," he said. "It is my body." Next Jesus took a cup of wine. In the same way as before, he gave thanks. He blessed the wine. He gave it to his apostles. "Drink this," he said. "It is my blood that will be shed for you." Last of all, Jesus told them, "Do this in remembrance of me." When Jesus said, "This is my body," the bread truly became his body. When he said, "This is my blood," the wine truly became his blood. And when he said, "Do this in remembrance of me," he gave the apostles the power to change bread and wine into his body and blood. The apostles were the first priests. At your First Communion, you will receive Jesus in the Holy Host. He will give you his special grace, and he wants you to love him in return. So you see, Jesus did find a way of staying with us after he went to heaven. When you receive him, be sure to thank him for his love. End of chapter 18.